Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever channel on YouTube. It was on March 11th, 2020 that the World Health Organization officially designated the crown virus as a pandemic. So what's most important to note here is the numerology of the day. March 11th is a 33, 311. Indeed, the number 33 is a master number of the Freemasons. It's also been called a magic number. Manly Hall writes about the number 33 that during the Middle Ages, alchemy was not only a philosophy and a science, but also a religion. Those who rebelled against the religious limitations of their day concealed their philosophic teachings under the allegory of gold making. In this way, they preserved their personal liberty and were ridiculed rather than persecuted. Alchemy is a threefold art, its mystery well symbolized by a triangle. Its symbol is 3 times 3 elements, or processes, in 3 worlds or spheres. The 3 times 3 is part of the mystery of the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, because 33 is 3 times 3, which is 9, and 9 in Freemasonry is the number of the esoteric man and the number of emanations from the root of the divine tree. Revelation 13:18, Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. This passage details the number of the beast or Antichrist, the satanically empowered false Messiah who will rule the earth in the final 3.5 years before the second coming. So even scriptures make it clear that certain numbers hold special meaning in the Bible. In spiritual numerology, the numbers 11, 22, and 33 are the 3 master numbers, the highest, of course, being 33. The highest of the master numbers also happens to be the age of Jesus' death, resurrection, and ascension. The 33 symbolizes the highest spiritual consciousness attainable by a human being. In Freemasonry, the highest order is the 33rd degrees of the Scottish Rite. The United Nations is one of many Luciferian institutions. All of these various globalist groups have the same common goal: to bring the world into one order, one religion, with one world leader. So it's interesting, when we look at the United Nations flag, we can see that they have the globe divided into 33 different sections. So it wasn't long after the World Health Organization designated the pandemic on March 11th on the 33 that we started finding more and more stories with the 33 number in them. And here's just a few examples. You can go into any search engine and type in 33 corona. Story after story after story related to the crown virus with the number 33 embedded in it.
Today, and I say as of today at this hour, we have 33 confirmed positive tests.
That brings, those are 11 new cases, 22 goes to 33.
As we sort through this here in Arkansas, today we have 33 confirmed positive cases in Arkansas.
As of today, we have 33 confirmed cases with Boston residents.
Yeah. We have 33 Pennsylvanians who have tested positive for COVID-19.
So as of this morning, there were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
In the past couple of hours, there are now 33 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Michigan.
More cases of the coronavirus were confirmed today in San Luis Obispo County, bringing the total number now to 33.
Which brings me to this image here. This is an actual pair of tennis shoes that was created by Adidas recently. And as you can see, they're clown shoes. And here they have the model on the Masonic checkerboard, which is one of the most important symbols to the Illuminati. It's used in ritualistic ceremonies. The black and white is used as a symbol for duality, or the base of consciousness. Base consciousness is important because it's where all other states of mind come from or arise. The duality patterns, such as the checkerboard, is also commonly used as a trigger for mind control slaves in order to reach specific altars. Even Aleister Crowley himself spoke about using the checkerboard floor for human or animal rituals. So what we're looking at here is an actual physical manifestation of clown world, and we find that connection to the Illuminati, or the occultists, or the globalists, the Luciferians. They're literally putting people into clown shoes now for the circus. This symbolism here really does sum it all up. Again, we have that connection to the Illuminati symbolism, the satanic symbolism, and the clown shoes, because it's a clown show. We hear people talk about it all the time. But personally, I think that's just another way of saying that everything has been inverted. Everything has been turned upside down. And the Bible told us there would be a time like this where everything would be flipped around and upside down. And what was good would be evil, and what was evil would be good. This right here is a manifestation of that clown show that we're in.
A Fargo mom is warning others of some disturbing visitors she and her son got while playing tennis in the park on Sunday night.
WDAY News reporter Tanner Robinson tells us how she and her son experienced a Halloween scare 4 weeks early.
Roxanne Solonen and one of her 2 sons were playing tennis on the courts at Island Park last night, getting some practice as their high school tennis season wraps up.
Being able to come out here and play tennis has been a real wonderful outlet for my boys.
When they got on the court, the sky was black and the fluorescent lights were on. About 15 minutes into playing, Solonen noticed she and her son were attracting a crowd around the fence. She says at first, they stood still.
All of a sudden, they started moving. And so then I realized, oh, those are people.
Solonen and her son counted about 4 people, all wearing clown masks. She says they were chanting something as they closed in on her, but they quickly ran as she called the police, who told her it was the second report of masked clowns in the city that night.
Even if it was a practical joke, right now probably isn't a good time to be doing that, just because there's so much worry right now in the world.
For Brenda Geary, the owner of Halloween Express, clown costumes have become more popular in her store over the past few years. She says clown masks and suits have been outselling classic Halloween costumes like werewolves and pirates, just based on scare factor alone.
I'm not necessarily endorsing running around town trying to do that to people, but like I say, people just have kind of this love affair for clowns.
What happened to Solonen reminded her of the nationwide clown panic 4 years ago. She hopes what she and her son experienced was a one-time thing, but she has a message for the 4 who decided to celebrate Halloween early.
It's easy to hide behind a mask and be bold, but show yourself, be in the light, and let us see who you are.
So as you can see, it's the rise of the clowns. But it's not just clowns in general, it's the clown as a symbol for chaos. Satan himself is the ultimate joker. This clown programming has been taking place for several years now. Every year over the last few years, right around October, we've seen this rise of clown crime. We've seen this rise of people dressing up like clowns and terrorizing other people in their neighborhoods. To me, this is a reflection of the spiritual nature that we're in now, where evil really is coming into the system. It's flooding the system. We see everything being turned upside down, everything becoming inverted. Even the movie Joker is a large part of this programming. It really is about the rise of the nihilists. The film Joker itself was very much programming for all of the chaos that would come about just 1 year later. This was a very mean film. It's called Unhinged, and the whole movie is about a man that really loses his mind. And the whole movie is about a man who's unhinged and losing his mind. It begins with him taking the life of his ex-wife. And then soon thereafter, it's a road rage incident with another character. And the entire film is Russell Crowe essentially being a non-stoppable monster. All he wants is revenge against this person that slighted him during a road rage incident. But it's interesting, this was the first film that had a theatrical release after the initial start of the pandemic. Because like I said, this is a very angry film. It's very mean. It's very triggering, I would say. And it's also interesting that in this film, they made Russell Crowe's character a redneck. He's a big burly boy with a big beard, driving a big old pickup truck, and he's got a heavy southern accent. And this film was released as we see that divide taking place in America. And really spiritually, it's a divide all around the world. It's the sheep and the goats, or the wheat and the tares. There's a division taking place in humanity now. So they have this character that's very similar to a Trump supporter, we'll say. Somebody on the right, a conservative, a Republican. But he's become unhinged, he's losing his mind. And to me, that's just one level of this psyop of a film, Unhinged. Right here you can see Unhinged, the film, at a cost of $33 million. Now take notice here, and you'll see how they plant the 33 in the film. Here's an example that takes place in a store.
Cash or credit? It'll be $533.
And here's another example that takes place with a police officer.
673, 1033.
Now here's a very interesting example of the programming they placed in this film for the public to become unhinged.
We must be rich, powerful, pretty, and celebrated to exist in our culture. Those left behind are doomed to rage like a volcano.
Keep in mind the climate of the day, the political climate of the day, and again how everybody is being divided, mostly over woke politics. I believe that was placed in there on purpose, once again, for a triggering effect. Now we take a look at the symbolism. There's a lengthy sequence that takes place in the movie. It's inside of a bedroom. And in that bedroom, we have a white curtain with black pentagrams all over it. Is this something you've ever seen at Walmart or Target? We typically don't find curtains with pentagrams all over them. And especially in this case with the black and the white. So there's just a few examples of a film that I believe is very much predictive programming for such a time as this. And I'm also sure it's no mistake that this image from the movie poster with the window just underneath his eyes looks much like a mask. It's true that there are some very strange things happening in the Capitol. Another example of the clown world and how everything's being flipped upside down is what happened in early January here in America. And with the selection of the newest president, it's obvious to millions and millions of people all around the world what happened on that day in Washington, D.C. We're dealing with PSYOP on top of PSYOP on top of PSYOP here, but what's most important to realize is that we're in a very critical moment because the Illuminati has actually taken control of the American government. We are literally watching the American government being taken over by the Luciferians. So if you didn't already know, Old Joe didn't actually win the election in America. He was placed there. That's why I say that our government has been taken over finally by the Luciferians. It's not by this man. This man here is just a puppet. He's the perfect puppet president. We also find a lot of strange anomalies around this man that's been placed as our president. One of which is this right here. His nose seems to be veering off course. I've shown videos in the past where his eyes are completely black. You can look that up yourself. Look up Biden black eyes. Now we have this strange, very strange nose anomaly. So what exactly is going on there? I've said for a long time I don't even know if this person is completely human, if it's a person at all. I don't even know how real it is. So what is it that we're dealing with? Are we witnessing some shape-shifting going on here? Is this some kind of a synthetic clone? Could it be CGI or perhaps a deep fake? So now we're going to veer off into a little bit of speculation on my part. If you didn't already know, Barack Obama is an antichrist. Many people believe that he will be the final antichrist. I've done videos on that myself. You can find them on my channel. But if you've never looked into this possibility, I highly suggest you do. There's lots of satanic connections to this man. And if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, you'll understand.